so my uncle comes, take me, and my mind was, I was disturbed. I mean, my mom could not afford eating and so on, and so I goes there and I start working hard, staying with my uncle. I asked them I'll be working in the farm, at least the produce they can be sharing with mom. Yeah, so I made our relationship with them good. So at least at first, now that is how they start. At least I was feeling comfortable. They would share maize because I was working in the farm and I was just helping with the cows and all these activities. When gets little money, they would share, and so at least I was comfortable.
At least mom would get some food to eat.
But it wasn't enough though. So
now at that time it was mom and your brother only.
Yeah, and my younger sister.
Oh, so you had a younger sister. Now
a younger sister.
In this marriage?
Now, in the marriage. In the marriage, she got 2 daughters, and one died. Yeah, so she was left with one. My younger sister now. So they're staying there. I'm staying up there, and life continues until now. It comes to a point I'm getting to my secondary school. So the condition of my brother get worse, and chaotic. He becomes very chaotic, and no one wants to associate with him.
Now this is at what age now? How old was your brother then?
He was in class 5. No. At that time, I think he was 15 years. Yeah, 15 years. So I finished my 8th grade, class 8.
Now, at 15 years, that is when this problem is now evident.
Yeah. Yeah, it's now very clear. It's very loud. He can't go to school. Before he would manage to go to school, he would do these things, but it was not that loud. Yeah, so it comes loud at this age that even in school, he can no longer go to school. He makes a lot of noise in the village, and he also goes missing, comes back, and so it was just another stress. Also, that is the time again my mom was almost dying because of stress. Yeah, so finishes class 8, all this, and now I'm supposed to go to my secondary school.
Yes.
I didn't pass well as I thought I would.
Yeah, because of the burdens and
the stress. But I did pass. Yeah, I was called to an extra county school, which is a good school. But there is no finances. Yeah, I was made many promises by relatives, and they will not just achieve it. They promised whatever school you would be called, we'll take you to that school, and so they never. No one came to actually.
They never kept their promises.
Yeah, they never kept their promises, and so I ended up going to a day school around. Yeah, I know. I believe it was It was God's providence, because going to that day school helped me to still help mom in this way. The day school was not close. It required to border some motorcycle
to school
from home. Remember, mom, the condition of my brother is now worse.
Yes.
He cannot go with him even to the market to maybe seek favors of the people. My other sister is still young, and now my mom is in another crisis. I am also supposed to go to I'm beginning my secondary school, so I would walk miles and keep the fare unknown by my uncle. At the end of the week, take the money to my mom. Yeah, that's how the first term was. That's how my first term in secondary school was, and so almost bringing this to the close. So this was at the peak of my brother's illness, and now the villagers, together even with my uncle, I think they pressured my uncle to move my mom away from my great grandmother's or rather her grandmother's house. And yeah, so when she was asked to leave, now the question was to where. No one wanted to really know where. And so I said no. Okay, we are going to town.
So your uncle comes and tells her, now you need to leave.
Yeah, he was the one who asked her to leave. And so I said, I'm not going to continue staying with my uncle. I'm going to stay with my mom.
Now this is your mom's brother?
Not really.
Or your mom's uncle?
Yeah, my mom's uncle. Yeah, so he asked him to go. But I believe it was the pressure from the village because of my brother's condition. It was chaotic in the village. Sometimes I do understand them, but to me I have never figured it as the best option. So my mom was moved from the house, was asked to move, and then she saw the wise that let me just move by faith. Remember, my mom was a mother of faith. She just trusted in God. By faith we moved, and I also told her that no, you're not going to stay alone in town. So we went there, rented a single room. You've been to that, you went to that place. Yeah, that room, that is where we went. So she figured out that place is closer to school. Actually, there are rentals for children who are schooling because they're just a single room, cube room for maybe single children, or three will come together to stay there to school there. So she would lessen the burden of fare. And as I stay, because I said if my uncle asks you to leave, then I need not to stay with him. I'll stay with you.
Yes.
Yeah, because I am still focusing that my main aim was to assist mom. And so we are ending first term, we are entering second term, me staying with mom now. And going to school, coming back, I'm the one responsible to see maybe rent paid and food, how they eating. So stress comes again. And I wasn't unable to do well in school as I should have done.
You were not able to perform well.
Comparing to the first term, because of stress, I will not eat in school because remembering my family has not eaten. Yeah, so I was stressed. I will not eat, and I just felt like if my mom and my younger sister has no food, why should I even eat? So I suffered with them. So that's the time that during the weekends I had become an ardent Sabbath keeper, and so I would not work on Sabbath, but during Sunday I would work as a gardener and get some money
in people's farms.
Yeah, but I got a Christian who understood our case. So you will not just pay me as a normal garden worker, but she went extra mile to just in favor of our family. Yeah, she went extra mile in favor of our family, and so that's how I sustained my family during that time. And when we were in the holiday, I just realized that it's not going to work, and I had to drop out of school.
Yes.
So that's how I dropped out of school. And I said that if my first duty is to take care of my mom. If today they die because of starvation, they lack food, what will going to school help me with if they'll die because of lack of food? Because I'm going to school to help them, to one day help them. So if they die today, who will I help by going to school? What will you
benefit?
What will I benefit with going to school? And so that's how I came to drop out of school in Form 1 second term. I didn't went for my third term. And I said, I just told my mom I'm leaving school to take care of you. I know I was having faith, by the way, that if I'll work, maybe even as a gardener or any work that I'll get to do, because I was strong to do work. I was zealous to do something. I say by the time that I'm supposed to be finishing Form 4, I would have removed you from this place.
Yes.
And God saw my faith, worked miraculously, and now my mom is having a home. This is the year actually I was supposed to have finished Form 4, waiting to go to university.
Yes.
And God has done that, so that is a good thing that I've ever experienced in my life.
Yes.
So mom she's happy, even though we have a problem. My brother is sick still. It's my burden again to see him get well. My younger sister also is contracted eye problem, which we suggest maybe it's because of maybe she inherited
the problem
from mom. Yeah, but I believe all will be well. This far, God has been faithful, and he, in every step we've seen, is leading, and so we trust. So I am still having a burden of making sure that I complete my duty, because the words of my grandmother every day is still ringing on my mind, that the reason why I was brought here on earth was to take care of mom
and to be her eyes.
Yeah, and to be her eyes. And so recently, as I finished, I met an old mama from the village, and she reminded me the same words, and told me, you know, the reason why you were born? Yeah, to take care of mom. I want to hear you taking care of mom. Now, you know, they believed that maybe school would help to actually finish that course. But when they heard that I dropped out of school, maybe they thought now mom would be miserable, because they knew it's only school.
Yeah.
But now when I met her, she reminded me very well, and told me, even if you're out of school, your very first duty was to take care of.
You have a mission that has to be accomplished.
That has to be accomplished, and God has been faithful into helping me to accomplish it. I have closed my mind for anything. Sincerely speaking, I have closed my mind to. I have left friends. I have decided to even stay without girlfriends and all those stuffs, just to make sure that I'll not lose focus to finish my mission. I know God will help me. Currently, I have been for maybe 2 or 1 year or in some months. It has been my burden to see how to get now mom to be self-sustained, how she can sustain herself. I have not achieved that yet, but I believe God, who has been faithful, will be faithful to help me see how she can sustain herself.
Yeah, he will be faithful to
so that now I can start thinking about my own things, because I also have some other things to achieve in life. My personal life. So I have just realized I can't manage if mom still in my docket. Not that she will come out of it. I know I'll be responsible for her till death. At least I want her to be to sustain herself in some way, and I know God will be faithful for me to finish that course.
Now, how do you want mom to sustain herself?
I have tried talking.
Have you shared with her?
Yeah. I have shared with her. She has told me clearly that even today, if we'll manage to get the machine, it's way long. She can't really even recall, and the things they learned, most probably it's outdated. They're out of date. Things are modernized. So it won't really be that effective. And so we have shared a lot. We've seen what can she do, and so the only option we were remaining with is maybe beginning some business. for her, which she can manage.
What kind of business?
I have been thinking of beginning a food store which is easy to manage. Since I cannot be
a food store or a grain store, or
a grain store for her, which is also her desire. Yeah, she really wants to have a grain store. That with grains it's very easy. Even she can handle that. But at the same time, having a grain store and someone who is faithful who can help, it's easy to
you'll still need account. Someone to help her.
Yeah, and with that. Grains, it's easy to account, even if you have someone to help there. Yeah, so that has been my prayer. Yeah, at least I'll be settled one day if it comes to pass. That now she can sustain herself. She can get something that she owns. Yeah, I know she has personal needs.
That would give you some relief.
Yeah, it will give me relief. It will also make her happy. You know, there's some things she might not be free to tell me.
Yes.
Yeah, she would want to do
1-2 things.
She would want to go see maybe her aunt and all that stuff. But so I believe that will work. And my sister too, because of an eye problem, she's unable to go to school. And so you see, there's a lot of burdens around it. My brother also, if today he heals, he gets well, it's still my responsibility, because now
all the burden is on the back.
All the burden is on my back, because now he's past the age of even going back to begin from class 5. He's currently in 8.
He left in class 5.
And now he's 18 years.
Yes.
Almost an adult.
Yeah.
And so the responsibility on myself. And so if I can find a way of relieving some by making mom being self-sustainable, she can sustain herself. Now that she is in her home, it will be a blessing. And now I see how to handle the case of my sister, who now, since she can't go to school,
is she completely blind right now, your sister?
Not really, but there's a time she was almost completely losing her sight. We used some remedies. She has some what do we call them? Eyeglasses. At least helps her. But much of the schoolwork that she can do is oral. Yeah, she cannot really study something which is white, and so
it strains her eyes.
Yeah, it strains her eyes. Yeah, so that means I need to think along, even maybe enrolling her to some sort of teachings which go, because she needs not to grow ignorant.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so that has been my burden. She needs not to grow ignorant. She has to have some basic knowledge. And so I have been thinking that to just find even someone who can give oral teaching. Yeah, oral teaching, despite that she cannot read that much. Trusting at the same time that she will get better.
Yes.
Yeah, she will get better.
Wow, what a story. I don't know. From your experience, how has your experience molded you, and how has it affected the person you are today?
Okay, my experience, number one, has made me to be very humble. I'm not self-proclaiming myself to be humble, but at least my experience with people, they've said that by virtue I am humble, but it's because of that experience. Yeah, why would you want to lift yourself high when you just walk with a blind mother around? So you learn to be humble, and I thank God. It has been something which makes me even to fit anywhere, everywhere, because yes, it has also made me to be I have courage to sustain little difficulties, because I've gone through huge ones. So the small things, I just overlook them. And I think it has worked. It has shaped. This is how it has shaped my character, both positively and I know also negatively in some way. In some way, which I'm still working on to perfect. Yeah. So yeah, that's I think I know my some people have even questioned why this law that you just fits everywhere. You can, like for example, the issue of people questioning, hey, you can wash utensils, you just go to posho meal. Those are duties that are not associated with men. I mean, you can be in the kitchen and cook. You know, it's not, as far as some people may think, it's maybe because you love it, but it's because of the environment that I grew up in that really molded me to be that. Yeah. So having learned a lot of things, I thank God for that, because it's good. Yeah, it's good to. It was not a wrong direction, as much as people may despite at my other youths may have mocked me, despised me, that you a boy washing dishes, going for water, fetch water, and God used these avenues to mold my character. So I remained humble, and yeah.
Wow. How about the childhood trauma? How has it affected your, adulthood right now?
Since the environment has been changing, I don't think it has affected me that much. But back then it affected me, especially when you were where people knew your situation. Yeah, you will feel low and not worthy. Like for example, currently I've lost my cousin, but I still feel I never wanted even to go to that funeral, because I feel he doesn't fit there. Yeah, so because those are people who knew my situation well, and so you would feel you are not worth. Yeah, so but any other place, I am very free. I don't have any problem. Even right now, I can just walk with my mom everywhere, holding her hands.
You're comfortable.
I'm just comfortable. I'm not shy at anything. Unlike in places like now, going to my where we grew up, yeah, it's a problem. I would want my younger sister to do that. Yeah, so I think it has affected me to some time, to some extent, based on which environment you are. Yeah, but majorly, the change of environment has really also helped me to mold my character, to build it to be so firm.
And to build your self-esteem.
Yeah. To build my self-esteem.
Wow. So has your dad, rather your stepdad, has he ever come back to check on you people?
Not really. Since they separated, I have never seen him, and I have been praying for God's grace that what if one day I'll meet him? What will I do? That is the question I've never answered myself. I don't know if I would accept him. I don't know what will happen, but that has been a question, and I told God, if it be well, it just goes that way. I don't.
So it's like, are you grateful that at least they separated?
Yeah, I was grateful they separated. Yeah, I have seen it works. It worked good for them to separate, because I would not imagine still staying with him right now. Yeah, and now being that I'm now an adult, maybe we would be having struggles.
Yes.
Yeah, because now I would not sit seeing my mom being in trouble or mistreated. Yeah. So I thank God they separated, and yeah.
Wow. Now, I don't know what kind of word you'd have for, because I know many children go through the same and even worse conditions. I don't know what kind of word you'd have for them. Maybe others would left home and became street children up to date. At least maybe some never got to have a good Samaritan to pull them from the streets and see their condition and connect them back to their relatives, and maybe their conditions are even worse. What kind of message do you have for them?
Yeah, it's I have learned to trust in God, because I was raised up in that environment where God was always mentioned.
Yes.
So all this through, I still had God in my mind. I knew that He is there for His children.
Yes.
And so if peradventure there's such a person, I know there are many.
Yeah.
At least I have tried to talk to some, and I've got an opportunity to speak to one, not some, one that mostly also found herself in the same situation
as yours,
as mine, and just by experience, asking them to trust in God.
Yes.
And learning life, how being masters of circumstances. Yeah, I love that, telling the young ones, be masters of circumstances. Yeah, don't allow circumstances to overwhelm you. Yeah, when you learn to be a master of a circumstance, then God will sail you through. And learning to trust God, don't allow your circumstances to overwhelm you, but try to see how you can really overpower your circumstances. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much. And maybe just before I speak, I don't know, could you be having someone, or rather, could you be having something for our viewers? Maybe would you want them to come through for your mother, or what would you want our viewers to do for you?
Yeah, first and foremost,
maybe you could look at the camera and speak to them.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
First and foremost, I am very grateful.
Yes.
And thankful for sharing my life experience.
Yes.
It's to encourage us, because I understand the situations in this world today. Testimonies are so powerful.
Yeah.
Because they inspires people's life. I think my life has also been inspired by some other people's testimony.
Yeah.
And so to the viewers, if you know someone who perhaps may be passing through the difficulty, yeah, you may share. You never know what if this life experience may inspire them. And maybe to those who would want to help me achieve my goal of making, or rather of satisfying my desire of making mom, being there for mom, I think it will be good. Yeah, it will be good. And much more prayers. Yeah, we trust that God will lead. And for the viewers, we pray for us, and when God opens a way, we shall thank God.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, Brother Steve. Thank you so much, and welcome back. Anytime you feel like coming back to the show, you're of course welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for opening up to share with us your story. Not very many people have that, have the courage, to come out and share their life stories.
Sure.
They may be depressed, but they don't have the courage to come out and share their burdens. But it's said a problem shared is a problem half solved.
Sure.
Yeah. So just by taking that, burden out of your heart to share with someone, you feel some relief. And so I want to thank you so much, Brother Steve, for taking your time and, putting yourself together and deciding to come out and share this life, inspiring story. I believe one or two people out there are going to be inspired, are going to be encouraged by your story, by your condition, and they're going to pick one or two lessons from it. Sure. And just as Brother Steve has said, if at all there's someone out there who has been touched, and I still plead with us to also go back and look at the previous story about his mother. and maybe soon we'll be dropping the part 2 of, you know, of his mother's story, so that we get to, you know, connect the stories. Okay, if there's anyone who is touched and would love to, you know, come to the young man's aid, kindly, I don't know whether he'll be comfortable to share with you his contact, or maybe how you people can, you know, contact him. I don't know.
Yeah, I am free to share my number.
Okay.
Oh, and maybe you can, you are allowed to post it at your
yeah, I can pin it down here so that you people can get to, you know, contact him through that number. Yeah, so maybe you could just tell them 0719 31 41 53.
Yeah.
Once again, 0719 31 41 53. So you can reach out to Brother Steve through that contact. I will pin it in the description box and also down here, so that anyone who is willing, who is touched by his story, can, you know, contact him directly. Otherwise,
not only even for support,
yes,
but for inspiration,
even for encouragement. Yeah, word of encouragement. Sure. Exactly. Yeah, it's not only asking for, you know, for your support, or rather financial support, but just calling to say, hello brother, you know, I was touched by your story, and may God give you the courage to continue being the eye of your mother. That will, you know, that will be a lot. That will be a lot, and that is the much he requires right now. Someone to be with him. Now that, you know, he has a brother, yes, but the brother can't be there to consult with, you know. He has a sister, but the sister wholly depends on him. He's a young man still. He has a mother who is blind. Yeah? And the whole family, the whole burden is upon his shoulder. It's not easy at this stage that he's also, you know, having other, you know, other dreams as a young person. Yeah? So kindly let us come to the aid of Brother Steve, and of course continue to remember him in your prayers, and yeah, let us pray for him. Otherwise, thank you so much, and thank you for being with us since we began up to this end. Continue to, you know, subscribe to our channel, share this story, share it as much as you can, share it so that it can get to a greater number of people, so that, you know, this inspiring story can get out to those who really need it. Otherwise, thank you so much. Continue to like our videos, comment, so that we get to know your views on our videos as well. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. This was the Dora Show, and of course, your host is Olodoreen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.